Thank you guys so much for the support and for helping me reach 10k subs. I'm sorry this video took so long, but I really wanted to provide you guys with as many tips and tricks as I can think of that will help anyone at any level. So yeah, hope this video helps and enjoy. I'm going to be covering briefly 4 main categories: basics, gun skill, movement, and positioning. It's likely that I'll go more in depth on some of these topics in future videos if you guys are interested. I'm going to put the timestamps for each category on the screen right now. Let me know if any of these tips and tricks help you in any way, and also what I can work on to improve my videos. Thank you. Alright, to start off the first category, basics, my first tip is attachment and perks. It's very important to understand your different sniper attachment and perks that will help you the best. For competitive players, the amount of perks to choose from are a lot more limited, but it is very important to run Agile with your sniper. This is because with Agile equipped, you'll be able to ADS and vault over objects 85% faster after running. For me, my perks include FMJ to hit wallbangs and reduce hit markers, stock, and extended mag. I would also recommend using a silencer with your sniper, so your position isn't as exposed. This is because the silencer reduces the bullet sound, and without it, it's a lot easier to figure out where snipers are positioned. However, personally, I've just gotten used to sniping without the silencer, and that's just my personal preference. This is only because I feel as though I hit more shots instead of hit markers without the silencer on. And next up, it's ADS or hipfire. As a sniper, you will also need to know if you prefer ADS or hipfire to shoot. ADS, simply put, is the shoot button that will scope in for you and shoot on release. And to stay scoped in, all you have to do is hold down the button. Hipfire, on the other hand, gives you one button to scope in and out and another to shoot. This is completely preference, but keep in mind, with hipfire, you will be able to no-scope, whereas for ADS, you'll only be able to no-scope if you have a secondary shoot button. The benefit of using ADS is that it will scope in perfectly for you. Hipfire, on the other hand, whenever you click shoot, no matter how scoped in you are, you will shoot. So it's important to learn the quick scope timing if you're using hipfire. And next up, on number 3, settings. That includes sense and HUD. Having your own personalized settings is the key to consistency and better performance. So this is how I found my sense, but I recommend anyone who's starting out sniping or even the game to run some pubs and to practice adjusting your settings. Once you get your sense where it feels decent, don't constantly change it. Changing your sense a lot is probably one of the biggest reasons players can't remain consistent. Tweaking it a little bit is fine every once in a while, but changing it up very often will result in you losing your muscle memory, and it will make it a lot harder on yourself to get better. Another note when it comes to settings, I don't recommend copying a pro player or a content creator's settings unless they have the same device and a similar HUD as you. This is because everyone has a different playstyle and a different preference when it comes to sense. Looking for your own settings is probably the best way to get better and to start practicing to be consistent. And last part of settings is your HUD. I know a lot of players that start out using thumbs, but if you really want to get better, I 100% recommend trying to switch over to claw, which is 4 fingers, or even paw, which is 3. Having more fingers than use will allow you to do more at the same time, such as scoping in, shooting, and drop shotting all together. Determining whether you are right or left claw doesn't really depend on which hand is your dominant hand, but most players transitioning to claw do go for whichever they're more comfortable with. And please keep in mind that your muscles are not going to be used to this, so please give it time and keep practicing. For me, when I first started mobile first-person shooter games on my phone, it took me about a week or 2 before playing claw wasn't uncomfortable anymore. So yeah, definitely put in the effort and you're going to get a lot better. You're going to feel like your reaction time is a lot faster with claw. Alright, so next up, my second category is gun skills. The first one is knowing the center of your screen. This is such an important tip, and it is so important for you to keep practicing to know exactly where the center of your screen is. and where your crosshair will be in order to get better at quickscoping and no-scoping. Knowing the center of your screen will help you so much when it comes to crosshair placement for not only sniping. This applies to ARs, SMG, and honestly, any gun really. For me, I would recommend you to just get in a pub and practice your consistent quickscopes. I know it's going to be really hard at first to try to only do quickscopes, but that is how you pretty much work on your crosshair placement. You can't get better unless you practice. Okay, so number 2 for gun skill, I got play against or watch players who are better than you. There's honestly no shame in looking up to someone for their skills and trying to learn to get better. It's important to try to play against players who might be more mechanically skilled or experienced than you are. Not only do you gain more knowledge and experience as a sniper, you're also learning different playstyles and learning how to adapt. Watching or playing against others can also teach you new positions and spots you didn't know before and that you might want to use in the future. Number 3 on my list for gun skill, there is actually no shame in hardscoping. Yep, I said it, there's no shame in hardscoping. But let me break this down. For me as a competitive player, in scrims and in tournaments, I'm playing to get the early picks and support my teammates, not to go for flashy clips and random trick shots. So, in that aspect, I don't see a problem with hardscoping, since I am playing for objective and the objective is to win. However, if you want to practice in pubs and rank matches, stick to quickscoping. It might be a little bit frustrating to start off and you might feel tempted to hardscope every once in a while, but trust me, commit to practicing your crosshair placement and you will feel a lot better whether it is in rank, scrim, or even tournaments. And for number 4 on this list, practice makes perfect. You've all heard this many times already, but I honestly can't stress it enough. If you really want to get better, you have to put in the time and work. No good sniper is just born with the knowledge and skills that they have. You might be talented, but you can't get better if you don't put in the effort. And maybe you're saying to yourself right now, oh, but I play almost every single day, and I don't seem to be getting any better. That's because you don't know what to practice specifically for yourself. You need to know what you need to work on individually and practice that specific trait as much as possible. Try to follow most of the tips in this video and let me know how your sniping is after about a week or 2. For my 3rd category, movement, my first note is jump shots. Jumping while sniping in COD Mobile is super accurate since the game's bullet accuracy is very straight. Jumping directly up and shooting the shot is so straight to the point that your shots are going to register and hit, I would say, a good 80% of the time, which allows jump shots to be much more utilized in the game. Jump shots also include jumping to the side and shooting, since this makes it a bit more harder for opponent snipers to kill you. Compared to jumping directly up and down, this is a much more versatile way of going for information and a pick at the same time. For example, many snipers would side jump on top of the boxes on standoff to take a look at how many players are on a site. And number 2 is sliding. Sliding is going to help you no matter what weapon you're using. Depending on your HUD, you should always be able to slide, jump, and prone easily. If not, you might want to change your HUD or upgrade to more fingers. For me personally, I'm not very accurate or consistent when it comes to sliding and then shooting, so I would usually go for my shot first, then slide away, no matter if I hit or miss. This is only to make it more difficult for opponents to kill or hit me. And last up on the list, number 4, is positioning. Number 1 on my list is defensive and aggressive positions. This is mainly for S&D, but it applies to other competitive game modes, believe it or not. It is so crucial to know when and where you should be playing aggressive and when you should be playing defensive. The objective of the game is how you determine how you'll be playing. This is a pretty large topic, but I'll try to sum it down as much as I can in this video. In Search and Destroy as a sniper on Offence, there's a few ways to play it. When it comes to playing slow and going for information and picks, your team relies on you to get an opening kill to give you guys a man advantage. On the other hand, when playing fast or when your team calls to do a fast push, your job immediately changes from going for an early kill to supporting your entry fraggers. Of course, this is only 2 basic / default ways to play as a sniper on Offence. It completely depends on the game since every game is going to be different. Supporting your teammates can mean holding an angle, so when your teammate is planting the bomb, he or she wouldn't get killed from certain common retake angles. Supporting can also mean when your team pushes, you're trying to get an early kill off of the site they're trying to push. For example, some snipers on standoff S&D, when pushing A, they would jump on top of the boxes to see how many players are on the site, and maybe to try to kill one off if that's possible. This allows the team to know if it's a good idea to push or not, depending on how many players are on the site. Now for defense on Search and Destroy, your positioning as a sniper is so crucial, not just because you can help your team get an early frag or an early pick, but you're the player that can move around a lot more easily, and you're the one that your team relies on to go for information. Information as in to scout out your opponent's positions and how they're playing the round, whether it's a fast push or a slow pick or even a fake. These positionings also apply to domination and hardpoint. As a sniper, you have to ask yourself, are you more comfortable with going into the actual points and the hills to go for captures, or are you more comfortable with just supporting and trying to pick off enemy players to help your team capture more easily? It depends on what you're comfortable with in each game mode, and personally, I rely heavily on my positioning in S&D, whereas in hardpoint and domination, I rely more on my frags and how well I can support my teammates. I'm not very good at close quarter gunfights, so I try to position myself to help my teammates out as much as possible without going into face-to-face gunfights. And everything comes with experience. Both offense and defense knowledge comes with experience and learning through playing more matches. You're always going to be learning ways to play your role better through competitive games. And number 2 on the list is adapting mid-game. This is probably one of the most important tips I can give you if you are already a pretty decent sniper when it comes to your gun skills, but you just don't know how to become that much better for competitive. Adapting mid-game means finding out how often enemy opponents push, or maybe which site they prefer pushing. Sometimes it's also learning how their sniper plays, or if the sniper is what the team heavily relies on to get an opening pick. Adapting mid-game is also changing whether or not you want to be aggressive or passive depending on how the enemies are playing. Adapting mid-game for game modes such as hardpoint and domination, or any respawns honestly, can include knowing if they are a team that early rotates to the next point, or if they go for certain areas of the map for control. Okay, so next up, number 3 is map awareness and common angles for snipers. I'm probably going to make another video only for this topic because it's such a big topic that I can put in a lot of notes for you guys. So not only is knowing map callouts important for individual play, but if you're trying to get into competitive, communication is one of, if not the most important thing. The more you play against more experienced players and snipers, the more spots you'll learn. You'll also start to know common spots people would snipe at, such as top blue on standoff, or maybe on A site on tractor. Knowing common spots for snipers where they like to get an early pick will help you a lot when it comes to learning how to overpeak a lot less. For competitive, since we are only allowed one sniper per team, you have to realize how important of a role you play. Okay, so number 4 on the list is playing to the advantage of your weapon. This is another tip that doesn't just apply to snipers, since it can apply for all weapons. It's important to know the strengths and weaknesses to your weapon. For the sniper, it's one shot, one kill, but with a very slow firing rate. Sometimes you hit marker, but that means enemy player is very lit at 5 HP. So that's why you should always run the default pistol with your sniper. So when you do hit a hit marker, you can pull out your pistol and just spray. The sniper is better for long to mid-range gunfights, so it's crucial to learn to position yourself for those specific gunfights. For SMGs, on the other hand, it'd be better to be close to mid-range. So that's basically what it means to play to your advantage. So instead of pushing into tight corners, snipers do best going for picks long range and with cover. And with cover, that actually brings me to my 5th point. Alright, so my 5th tip is don't play open, always play for cover. Playing for cover means knowing that the sniper is best to go for single kills and not meant to hold down a site. For example, if there's a 5-man rush against a single sniper, at best you'll get 2 kills before getting traded off, but even the chances of you getting 1 kill is pretty slim. It's very important as a sniper to play for cover. meaning basically you can take a shot, then back off into safety or onto a head glitch. That's how snipers are honestly meant to be played, a weapon that allows you to go for picks, then immediately back off. Okay, so basically that's all for this video, and trust me, I have a lot more in detail I can go for most of these topics, so if you guys do enjoy my tips and tricks video, just let me know if you want to see more specific topics and more in depth, and if there's anything I can work on. Thank you guys again for the support, and I really hope this helped.